Okay, let me pull up the stream link, get it posted to all the socials, and then we will get started. Okay, of course, the classic delay. Promo. I hate that. Why is his name exactly what everyone command is? Okay, send it there. Where's the promo here? It's way down here. I'm at everyone in this one. Fuck them. And in here. And I think there's a couple more servers I can post it in shamelessly. Where is it? I thought DLR had one that I could post it in. Maybe not. Maybe it was H&N that can. Self promo. Yeah. Okay, I think that might be it. Uh, okay, it looks like they've instinctively readied up in time. Hold on, let me change lobby settings real quick. I think Tesco needs an invite. Okay, let me pull up stream now. I finally sent everything. Okay. Oh, what did I get pinged for? Okay. Just gonna ignore that message from Miko. Okay, glad I stopped it because we are getting Tesco in, so I'm glad that I stopped it. Yep, there he is. So once he picks his seats, there we go. And we will go ahead and tell them to ready up finally. Yeah, I had to stop it there, Charlie, last second because almost missed out on an additional driver. Almost. And looks like a few people might be AFK and not readying up, but that's oh well. Pull up Discord on my phone so I have it there. Wish I had a thermometer for it. And scroll, scroll, scroll. There we go. Under the lights in Bahrain, finally for the first time for ULC, ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing first race attendance of 11 whole drivers. Very, very good for our first race. Tires, you're probably going to be looking at the hard tire allocation. There's a lot of tire degradation around this track. The one stop is hard to pull off, but definitely manageable. I believe experienced drivers like Deathwing and Miko might be going for that, whereas some of the other drivers might be looking at two-stop, especially if we see a safety car due to an unfortunate incident during this race. So we will see. My personal preference, I've been going for the harder tire allocation recently in my leagues. So I used to run the balance, and it just always came back to bite me. I couldn't do it. Let's go ahead and pull up some fun tidbits. So we wait for the drivers to head to the track for the first time. It does look like we were unable to get the second Ferrari in, unfortunately. Maybe he can invite him partway through the session. Max, what's going on? All drivers hesitating to go out early as we do see a kick as our very first driver out on track for ULC. It is God Gamer and the Kick Sauber heading onto the track first. Only one so far. We see a Haas and McLaren finally coming out as well. The McLarens are represented by two of our stewarding team filling in and having some fun out there. So props to them for being our stewards and helping out with the league. See a Red Bull coming out of the pits now. Tesco and Jeff both out on track. Is that the... No, that is the plain Haas. I thought it might have been the USA livery, but it was not. Doesn't look like many of the drivers have too many special liveries. Miko representing the Japanese style Red Bull. Very, very beautiful car. And from a man that is part Japanese as well. See almost all the drivers out on track now, with the only people in the pits being the other McLaren, the only Ferrari, and a Williams. Looking out now. God Gamer will be the first one to set a first lap. He has a decent gap to the Haas behind him, and the McLaren is slowly pacing himself off of the back of the Haas. Then we have another group of three behind a Red Bull. That group is going to want to spread out a bit, and Deathwing closely follows. Still, three yet to come out of the pits. They might be opting to only do two laps to save a set of tires. The kick here, activating the ERS quite early, might I say. Definitely didn't need to activate it so early there, but away he goes for his first lap. We'll see what kind of times it needs to get to the top of the front row of the grid. We see the Haas in the background coming across the line, heading down into turn one is God Gamer. We see the Ferrari finally kicking himself out of the pits. Now, ERS management around this track is quite difficult and definitely especially good to get right. I've learned some decent track maps for the ERS deployment, and let me tell you, it helps out big time. Typically right through there is a big zone where you want to deploy it. As God Gamer we are riding on board with, as he is our very first driver to do so, a hot lap in ULC, so we'll give him the honor of a ride along. See him kicking over far right side, heading into left-hander, a little bit of a front brake lock going into the corner. Keeps it nice and tight. Now he has a lot of ERS coming through here. That uphill is a big section that you want to play a lot of ERS to get as much torque out of that as you can. And he's going to use up his ERS this time down the last two straightaways. He's going to have a fair amount left over, but I think he might have managed it pretty well. Not in the areas that I typically like, but if it says 0 when he crosses the line, he did good. And it is out before he does cross the line, and it's a 29.9 to set the tone for tonight. Tesco crosses the line behind him, takes pole, provisional pole, that is, by 9/10 over God Gamer in the Kick Sauber. And behind them should be Miko in the Red Bull, and it is, as he does a 28. 28s are definitely closer to the times that we're going to want to be looking at. So we have a fair amount of computer lag, sorry for that. It's going to lag the frame rate a good ways. See some more cars crossing Jeff with a 46.7. Let me try and sort out why it is we're lagging so badly. Probably some dumb RAM. Half Korean, says Miko. I am sorry, my friend. I am sorry. My goodness. Let me close out to this big tab group because this just eats up RAM. Okay. We are using the live timings function of the League Racing tool, so we will see how that works. As Banani is on provisional pole with Charlie behind, Not by much, only 400s off. Deathwing a 29-0. Not what Deathwing is going to want to see on his debut here. Tesco just barely squeezed out ahead of him, as well as Maximo, and the V-Carb is behind Miko. So we have a pretty tight field as of yet. Jeff yet to set a good lap time. High Flying still in the pits. Top G is on his flying lap, and Briars still in the pits as well. The stewarding team wanted to pick up some good positions in qualifying. So we see the first lap rounders pitting. We see a Ferrari in a nice special livery. See where Top G can find himself, as he actually does go into the pits. I'm not quite sure why. He had a big lock there as well. Not quite sure why he chose to pit without setting a lap. He might have had just too low fuel. Wasn't comfortable continuing. Jeff setting a 30.3. He was able to get a lap in, but on a scrub set of softs. So definitely losing some time and confidence on that. Looks like Maximo might be warming his tires to do another lap on these used softs. Maximo on a 28.7, only 2/10 off of Miko. The 5th to 7th positions are looking to get into the 28s to compete for the podium. It is not that spread out of a grid as I thought it would be for the start, as we see the McLaren of Briars in the chrome livery finally popping out of the pits. Banani coming in, currently at provisional pole, with Charlie close behind. Maximo is opening up a second lap, it looks like, with not a whole lot of ERS in the bank, might I say. Not quite sure why he doesn't have a whole lot in that pink V-Carb. Might have just forgotten to set it to none as he was on a warm-up lap. So we see the McLaren behind on his out lap. He will be looking to warm up his tires. Miko already popping out of the pits for his second out lap. He might be going for 3, seeing as how we do still have 11 minutes in the session. As there is just a crazy windstorm outside my room right now. V-Carb of Maximo looking to get this braking zone right. He goes a bit wide, a lot of front lock. These are a used set of soft tires he's going for a second run on. It's not a bad idea, but it's certainly a risky one. He must feel like there is some time out there to find still. That pink V-Carb looking beautiful with the soft tires matching. Going up the hill, still have yet to find a driver deploying the battery going up the hill as he goes quite wide, but it doesn't actually set off track limits. That's quite shocking. So we calm down. He does have a lot of ERS going into the last couple of straights because he was not able to charge up enough at the beginning of the lap. As he looks to cross the line on this second set, must be improvement since he didn't dive into the pits. It is an improvement, but of only 500s. It did not move him up any positions at all. That is unfortunate. So we will cut to Briars, who is on his first flying lap in the McLaren. His teammate currently P8 on a 30.3. Do see Miko also starting a flying lap behind. Jeff should be on a in-lap. 9 minutes left in the session with 4 people yet to set a time. Spooky was able to get into the session, thankfully, for the Ferrari to have a second teammate. A lot of double team lineups so far. We'll see who scores big points. Looking at Briars coming through down into the off hairpin, a lot of struggle on the front end there. He was not able to get the brakes in the zone that he liked to keep it straight. He has quite a bit of traffic. Hopefully the Ferrari will be diving on the way as he tries to pick up a slipstream from everywhere that he can. Definitely a smart move from him. We'll see if he finally finds a driver that deploys up the hill, and he doesn't. Actually, he loses the rear end quite a lot. That Ferrari in a nifty spot, but I think he just well enough out of the way. Ferrari might pick up a slipstream from the McLaren if he doesn't get out of the way in time. See, drains the battery. He saves a bit coming out of the final corner. Spinani, the provisional pole sitter, is now on his out lap. Charlie still in the pits, opting to do 2 laps by the looks of it. Briars crosses the line. P7, 29.6 for the McLaren. Not the bestest time that we've seen, but for sure some improvement to find. He will have another chance still. So we see the first Ferrari of Top G out for his lap, as well as high flying in the Williams going through sectors 2 and 3. He's almost done with his hot lap. Actually, is already out of battery in the beautiful, beautiful Golf livery. His teammate currently P2, opting for 2 laps. As high flying crosses the line, P9. It's a 32 for high flying. We will find the Ferrari that we were just on, and we have. So he comes through the middle of sector 2, through the tight chicanes and S's. Now, one thing to note is that these guys are going to want to get their brake bias down. Locking your fronts into these two consecutive, and exactly what I mean, you can see the front brake lock on that front left is killer to have your brake bias and brake zone in the green. So the Ferraris are the only ones to not set a time as of yet. Deathwing goes up to P4 with a 28.6. Top G coming up the hill. He has a lot of ERS. We're seeing a lot of drivers coming into the third sector with a lot of ERS, except for that of High Flying, who was actually out of ERS by this point. Seeing a lot of drivers now out on hot laps. Few opting to only do 2 possibly, as we see Charlie come out of the pits at what I would question to be a weird time at 7 minutes. He might be doing 2 laps maybe. As Top G sets pole position with a 27.9. It's a very good lap, 4/10 ahead of Benani, who is on his hot lap now. Benani will have to look to find a lot of time, as well as Charlie. They want to answer to Top G. Top G's teammate, Spooky, also on a hot lap. See if this Ferrari duo is going to bring some pace to the league. May we finally find a league that has a Ferrari dominance. As he crosses the line, P2 with 28.2. Benani close on his heels, though. Benani on his hot lap. Benani rounds the final corner with a fair amount of ERS to deploy. See if he can find any improvement. He doesn't go into the pit, so I'm assuming he does, and he does. It's a 28.0. He jumps the Ferrari, but is not able to find a lap time good enough for provisional pole. Charlie now starting his hot lap. Deathwing should be into the pits. He is. Miko into the pits. Maximo and Tesco coming out. Breyer's on a hot lap. Breyer's looking to find some more pace in the McLaren. His teammate also looks to be on an outlap in the middle of sector 2. Ferrari dominance in Abraxas? Really? I've heard of Abraxas. They're partnered with the League Finder. I know a few people in there. I have yet to find any other league except for Abraxas. Can you get me a lobby? Oh, are you trying to? Hold on. Let me see. Let me see where this McLaren ends up. Let us see. Let us see. He goes nowhere. That is unfortunate. Yes, iRacing. I can. Friends. Why did you put ARS at the beginning of your name? How many ARS leagues that there are, iRacing? My goodness. Jeff looking to find improvement. Currently P12, last place of the provisional grid. iRacing a bum. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I figured that's why you won one. And Jeff does find more pace, putting himself right behind Breyers. We're seeing a fair amount of pace between the drivers and teammates, except for Williams. They have the biggest diff, as Maximo and Tesco both on their hot laps. Abraxas is ARS. Okay, I see. Put in DLR to shame. Put in DLR to shame. See, Charlie on his hot lap. Or, no, he finished a lap, but I don't think he found improvement, surely. So he did not move through anything? No, he didn't. Miko on his final lap. He will be doing 3 laps, burning up a set of softs. I'd be fine burning up 3 sets of softs, because really, it's just such a tough track. As Maximo does find a lot of improvement, goes P2 right on the heels of Top G. They are within 82 thousandths of a second to each other. Very, very well done from them. Yeah, no, I don't like the softs around here. I think, in my opinion, on my setups, they last like 5 laps tops, and then you're wanting to kill yourself the entire time. It is ridiculous how short these last. Charlie on a invalidated lap. I'm forcibly muted in the voice call. I can't talk to my driver. Help. That's weird. That might be because of the everyone change that we did. Actually, that you had me do, and then, yeah. Hold on, let me fix that. It's probably your fault. Because you were working on that, and then, yeah. Channel permissions. I don't see why you should be, because, actually, no, Miko was messing with it. Hold on. Let's find a driver to sit on board with. Everyone pretty much into the pits with 2 minutes left. They should be able to all get another lap. Where is the speak? Oh, am I on the wrong thing? No, yeah, I'm on the wrong thing. That's one. Hold on. I swear it's not on me. Yeah, no, it's something that Mika does. Mika was working on these. Red Bull. Speak. There's no save button. You should be able to do now, I think. I don't see a reason why you shouldn't be able to now. Unless if I broke it more. Yeah, so everyone quickly diving into the pit, strapping on new tires, and quickly coming back out. So we're not going to see a lot of people that save the set of softs. That will definitely be interesting. Jeff looking to be on a hot lap. He's doing back-to-back laps on the soft tire, so we'll see if that gets him anywhere. Tesco has DNF'd himself in the pits. He either wants to save a set or doesn't think he has time or pace. Glad Gamer as well as him and Maximo. Yeah, as Jeff crossed the line, he did not find improvement. High Flying looking to find improvement as well. I'm just forcibly muted. I can't talk. It's saying suppressed. Okay, let me try again. I wonder if you don't have the right rules. Hold on. That could be it. Nope, you have Red Bull. Yeah, so P2 DNFing himself out is quite interesting, seeing as how he was pretty close to P1. Trying to fix this for Red Bull while commentating is currently a struggle. Top G out to find more time as well as his teammate to fight for that pole position slot. And there's a tight gap to P3 as well. Banani looking to be on a hot lap, not using a lot of battery early on. Okay, so go ahead and try now. iRacing, see if that one fixed it. I have no idea if it did or didn't. Charlie on an outlap. So everyone that hasn't DNF'd is on an outlap. Is Charlie going to cross the line in time? Ooh, he just barely is. Yeah, he cut the track to make that one. But it worked out for him in the end. So there is a McLaren going slowly to let a Mercedes through. But that would mean that that McLaren will not be able to get another lap in. So he didn't start his lap. That's unfortunate for him. Spinani crosses the line. He does find more pace. He does take P2 as Spooky gets a time penalty for a collision with Miko, as we see both the Red Bull and the Ferrari off track. Yeah, this Cook. Miko going to be wondering why he can't say anything, still can't talk. Might want to just take it to a PM, honestly, for right now, and we can just fix it next time. It's forcing me to use push to talk. And I have a ping that's probably Miko. Yeah, I would just go into a voice call with them. And Miko is disqualified for improper parking by game standards. I am assuming that is the person blowing me up. It is 7 PMs in a row. Top G sets provisional pole once more with a 27.5, finding more pace. As we look for Charlie to find more space. Spooky was unable to, currently P4, Deathwing unable, P6. So we have our first pole sitter of Top G in the Ferrari, followed by Benani and the Mercedes, Maximo P3 in the V-Carb, Spooky P4 with the 5-place grid penalty because of the collision with Miko for some reason, which actually caused him to disqualify, and he will start P12 with Charlie P5, Deathwing P6, Tesco P7, Briars P8, P9 goes to God Gamer. High flying, found some time, got P10 over names Jeff, and P11 for the McLaren. Miko not happy that he was for some reason disqualified because of the contact with him. Yeah, not quite sure what happened there. A lot that I was trying to do. As the drivers look to get their tire pressures right and drop their wings. You definitely want low wings around here. Lower that you can run, the better that you're going to be at defending and attacking. Stewarts will definitely be put to work with a already an incident in qualifying. It's unfortunate to see. Definitely some good pace from the drivers, though. Will make for a good race. So long as they can keep it clean, guys. Let's just keep it clean. Be definitely disappointing for the owner commentator to see you go straight into someone into turn one. So don't do that. Don't do that. That's not smart. Well, here to have fun. So we're just waiting for the grid to line up. So we'll look to start the race. Top G on pole position. So 5 lights out, and away we go. The Mercedes getting a good start over the Ferrari ahead as we head down into turn 1, already making up positions in the back in the midfield. As we look to see a lot of action, some collisions, and a V-carb spun around. Oof, just massive pileup. What has happened, guys? Someone got spun around. The entire midfield is jumbled up as Jeff is P4. My goodness. What has happened there? It looks like there's barely any damage, thankfully, but my goodness, what a jumble up there. That will be interesting to find out where to go from there with that one. My goodness. As we see the possible race strategies, the top 3 will be looking at this with a big smile as they will just pull away. As we see a kick going off wide, sign being taken out, Spooky making up positions on the McLaren of Jeff. Deathwing on the back of Benani and the DRS. We should see a top 3 DRS train off that. Outback Maximo making up a position on high flying the Williams P10, P12 after the massive collision into turn 1. My goodness, what was that? Haas going down the inside of the McLaren. Tesco looking to make up a move. And it looks like, nope, they are still going side by side. Tesco going a bit wide and comes back down across the McLaren. That might have been a bit of lag. Looks like the drivers are struggling with some lag right now as the McLaren does go off. Jeff is off. Deathwing dropping off the DRS of Benani ahead. Benani staying within first place. It's forcing me to... I already read that. As we see Spooky off track as well. Not quite sure what happened to him on that exit. My goodness, what happened in the midfield there? What happened? Tesco looking to go down the inside of Spooky. Struggling through that lag as he makes a contact that really wasn't there. My goodness. Oof, as the Haas gets shunted into the wall there. That might bring out the safety car. It does look to be a VSC or something. Yes, the drivers are going slowly, I believe. Take this up and we can see, yes, it is a VSC as everyone is jumbled up trying to... Oh, full course. Full course. As God Gamer gets a 10... Oof, what? Okay, so I think that's what that jumble up was for. Because of the fact that someone was off, it counted them as overtaking. My goodness, do we need a restart on this? Let me see. Let me see if we need a restart. Because what was that? What was that? Let me see here. What was that? average seeing the turn 1 instant. Yeah. Looks like the drivers are still wanting to continue. No one's saying that they want a restart as of yet. Take a look at the positions gained here. We have a lot of mix-up going on as Tesco was DNS spectacular so far. Chasm is asking for a restart, so we could do a restart. Yeah, a lot of people are asking for a restart. Now we'll take a look at the grid there. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and restart this, guys. Everyone into the pits currently, but I want them to just retire so that we can restart. Everyone's still going. No one has gotten the message that we want to restart it. Absolutely no one. So they are finally getting the message to restart. My goodness. Deathwing not happy. Deathwing, it was a weird one, so. I think it should be able to keep the grid order from quali. But I might go into the stream and look back on it. Miko unhappy as well with that one. He was up to P7 after having a DNF from the quali. Yeah, Trevor's not terribly happy about a restart, but guys, there was on that safety car there was like 4 guys that got a weird penalty, so. Okay, so let's go ahead and restart that because that was not right. Some people opting out of a restart, don't really blame them, but yeah, that was weird. That was a weird one, guys. Go ahead and wait for this to finish, so that way we can just go ahead and move on. Hey, how long it takes to get off this page. Yeah, that start was very weird. Not quite sure why it's not going off of this page yet. Typically there's a timer or such. There it is, finally. Jeez. Okay, let's go ahead and get this right. Okay, let me go ahead and change the qualifying so that way we don't have to go back through that. That's not in there. That is in weekend. Quality off. Holy first start to the season. Yeah, no. Not quite sure what that was. Okay, so we do actually have to go in and pull up the thing. It looks like we actually lost a few people in that. So we gotta go ahead and re-invite them. Let me pull that up real quick so that way I have the grid order. Just a moment. Okay, we need quite a few people with an invite. Let me take a look at who's in. Yeah, we missed quite a few people. I'm just gonna hit them all with one, so that way I don't miss any. I think God Gamer is still in. Yeah. Deathwing. Everything. Max. And Banani. I'm just seeing everyone with so that way I don't miss anyone. Charlie. Okay. And I will have to get the grid order correct. Let me make sure that. Where is this one? Yeah. No, not that one. This one. Yeah. Make sure that's all good. Okay, let me pull the grid order. Yep, nope, that's what we're doing, iRacing. Just need to pull up the grid order for what we need. There it is. Wait, no. That's the race. There we go. Okay, put this over here. Okay. Settings. I don't know why there's AI in here. How's there AI? That's weird. Okay. Weekend structure. Grid editor. Okay, so we have top G, P1. We have Banani, P2. We have Maximo, P3. Is it X? Yes. Spooky, P4. Charlie, P5. Charlie, P5. Deathwing, P6. Tesco left. Briars, P7. Got Gamer, High Flyin', Jeff, Miko. Okay. Confirm changes. Okay. Miko has not yet set his seat. So let me ping Miko to set his seat. Briars wants towards the back as well. Briars is like P something. Okay, yeah, we're good. See if we can keep it clean through turn one this time, boys. Leave the beef out on track if you can overtake someone. Just leave it at that. Pull the, and that's the wrong button. Pull the stream back up. There we go. Yes, Max, I realize that you are Max. Someone did clip the onboard of that turn 1 nightmare. Or no, that's another race. There was a clip of it though. Let me go back up to that. This was the qualifying incident with the Ferrari and Miko. I was wondering what happened with that. Yeah, it looks like Miko had disconnected or something, was on AI mode. That's odd. So we are waiting for the drivers to, for a second time, set their tires, set their setups, and everything. Looks like they weren't able to set the tire allocation because we had to skip quali. Oof. Surprisingly, it looks like no one had advanced early. Typically, you always get a driver or two that does, so it's quite impressive actually that no one did. And finally, we are getting underway. Let's hope for a clean turn 1 this time, guys. Clean turn 1. That's all that we hope for. I think the Tesco Haas was the only one to leave after that disastrous try. So we will see this time what we can do with 5 lights out, and away we go. The McLaren jumping out of the way, as is the other one. I believe they are doing a little bit of a last to first challenge, along with iRacing, who is already looking to be up positions. A much cleaner turn 1. Still a bit of pinching going on, as it is quite a difficult turn 1. But a lot cleaner through, guys, as Benani has dropped down to P4 as he goes off track. That is unfortunate for that Mercedes, dropping from P2 down to P9 so far. Jeff looking to have a disastrous start as P12. Breyer's up to P9 after letting himself go to last place. Much cleaner, guys. That is what we'd like to see. Ferrari 1-2 so far with Maximo behind. Spooky making up plenty of positions off that start. Very good from him and the Ferrari's teammate currently pulling away, already a second ahead. And he will want his teammate and friend to back off to let him get that DRS. As the wow, the Williams on the outside of Deathwing. It's a very hard move to pull off that he did get done. Deathwing on the tail of that Williams, wanting to pick up a place for a chance at a podium, but he will also have to get through Maximo if he wants to. Looking behind, Miko and iRacing have both carved through the field, P6, P7, after starting both dead last. So very good on them. So we see the Aston Martin and Williams just going at it still. Very good stuff from them. As the Ferrari has backed into the DRS of the other Ferrari, is a DRS train from P1 to P3 with Charlie looking to get on board with it if he can fend off from Deathwing. Looks a lot more clean this time. Jeff off the back of the field a good ways. Side by side with the Williams. Deathwing ahead into the braking zone. Comes back onto the racing line. Williams down the inside of Deathwing. Gets a front lock. Looks like they keep it mostly clean. Going a little wide, but that's expected on a front lock into turn 1. Side by side still. This Aston Martin and Williams. This is beautiful stuff from the two. This is exactly what you want to see, especially with the Red Bull of Miko jumping on scene. Going down the inside with Deathwing. Deathwing on the outside. Takes him around and is still holding on. Now this is a tough spot to go side by side, so hopefully they'll figure it out, and they don't, but they still hold it. Very nicely done from the trio there, as iRacing is on the back end of his teammate wanting to get through. That was much better, guys. This is looking good. Maximo still on the back of these Ferraris. Spooky with the DRS to his teammate. That might be a team call to have that done. Deathwing still in the DRS of Charlie Head, but that Red Bull is sniffing that tail end as much as he can. Jeff still falling off the back of the field, as well as high flying. Banana P10 currently. Not quite sure what's going on with him. He had good pace and quality, but he isn't able to make it up currently, as he did fall behind after losing out track position and going off track. Top 3 pulling away from Charlie. 3-second gap to the cars ahead. Go ahead and take this brief moment to check out some positions gained, as Maxwell does set the fastest lap to the Ferraris. Spooky up 2 positions. iRacing Noob up 6 as he goes past his teammate down the main straight. Probably a team call, as Miko did pop down the inside, and it looks like iRacing Noob might have picked up a little bit of contact with Deathwing ahead, as they are fighting it out for that 4th place position. Deathwing going down the inside of Charlie once again. He might have this move finally done. Charlie on the outside, and the Red Bulls still on scene here. They're just absolutely killing each other trying to get P4. Thankfully, they aren't actually killing each other, but they are fighting with their hearts out. Miko going a bit wide. iRacing down the inside. I believe that's B. Yes, that is iRacing Noob indeed. It's a very clean move from him as he switches to the outside going into the hard braking zone. Deathwing will have the advantage as he does get a tire lock and spins the Williams because of it. That will surely be a penalty probably coming his way, unfortunately. There was just no avoiding that with some aggressive defending. My goodness, at least we have a good view of it so that way that can be sorted properly. Unfortunate for Charlie picking up that collision from Deathwing after he locked going down the inside with iRacing Noob. Good for Red Bull, currently P4, P5. Chasing down Max ahead, who is actually on the rear end of this Ferrari. Not going for the inside. He wants to wait to get the move done until the main straight. This is a very smart driver, looking to pick up a split in these Ferraris. Looks to be that they still won't be making a move down into turn 1, just hanging on to the back of this DRS train. 6 seconds now, the gap to P4. Charlie 2 seconds off the back of Deathwing, P10, P11. Miko and iRacing Noob switching positions once more into turn 1. Benani back up to P7 after falling out in the opening stages of the race. Maximo certainly frustrated to be behind these Ferraris, seeing as how it will be damaging his tires. Speaking of tires, since there is weird stuff going on, let's take a look. Ferrari on a 2-stop, rest of the grid possible 1-stop, but probable 2-stop. So we will see where that ships up at the end of things. It might be looking that these mediums are coming into play for Max and the softs are coming out, as Benani is DNF'd. He might have put himself in the wall or something, but it looks like we have at least a VSC. This would be a good pit window for the Ferraris out front. Take a look at the positions gained. Miko and iRacing both up 7 positions with each other. Behind God Gamer up 2, Spooky up 2 after a very good start, High Flying up 1, Deathwing after the collision with Charlie from defending from iRacing Noob fell down to P9, P10, and Jeff down 1 position, P11. Banani, tough start and either spun or just gave up, has been the first DNF of the session. We'll take a look if the Ferraris come into the pits here. Like I said, if no, they are choosing. Yes, they are. One is in, is the other. They are. They will be double stacking. Definitely would have wanted to open up that gap a bit more. It looks like the Mercedes said that he did forget to set his setup. That might be a reason for his DNF there. It's unfortunate to hear from him. Yeah, that double stack critical for Ferrari, as the one might be losing out on a few more positions. Seems how he had to sit and wait an extra second or two for his teammate. And it actually looks like it won't be. They came out in a gap between P8 and P11. See what tires they did strap on. This is a very interesting call. The one goes for the hards while the other for the medium tire. It's very interesting indeed. Red Bull from dead last to P2, P3, double podium provisionally. And the RB of Max is currently leading the race. Very nicely done from him. We did miss the VSC ending. Unfortunately, I was paying too much attention to pits. That is on me. Behind High Flying and Charlie looking to have a move on Deathwing. Deathwing did get through High Flying. It looks they were not in that order before. Charlie certainly frustrated with Deathwing after that move. And the Ferrari is looking to be putting himself in the wall. I'm not quite sure if that was a wheel disconnect or what, but that was not something you traditionally see from a racing line. Charlie switching up positions with his teammate going up the hill. Ahead, the Red Bulls still in DRS of each other, dropping off the back of Max. This is definitely beautiful for Max, as he can now just pull away with clean air. Behind, Briars on the back of the Kick Sauber ahead. McLaren also opting to let everyone through at the start, is now bumping into the back of the Kick. He poorly estimated that gap there. Thankfully, no one got hurt, but going side by side into turn 1, they are keeping it very clean, no lockups. McLaren certainly putting the squeeze on the Kick Sauber, taking different lines, trying to find where he can get by. It looks like the Kick did get DRS out of that somehow, as the Kick still holds position coming through Sector 1 and heading down into Sector 2. McLaren looking for any place to get through. High flying, hanging on to the back of his teammate for some DRS as he tries to catch up with Charlie. Miko now falling off the back of the DRS from his teammate ahead. Briars looking to have the move done at the end of this straightaway now. So he has the DRS, he has a fair amount of ERS. It is more than the Kick, but I don't think it's going to be enough. As the Kick does make a move, the McLaren has nowhere to go. He stays behind for another few corners. High flying, hanging on to the back of Charlie beautifully with the DRS. This will be very good for Williams to try and pick up some more points and defend as long as they can from the Ferraris behind. Now, the McLaren of Briars does not have a lot of ERS heading down the main straightaway, so it will be interesting to see if he can get the move done, but neither does the Kick, both essentially out of ERS. So we will see who will come out on top, as Deathwing is now on scene with these two. We might be in for a double overtake somewhere as Top G does get by Charlie. Charlie dropped back from his teammate, as we do see 2 and 3 wide down into turn 1. It looks like Deathwing is looking to have a move on the Kick after the McLaren got through, and Deathwing just backing off, unable to find the traction. Not quite sure what happened to Charlie. The Kick looking to fight back on the McLaren. Deathwing will be looking for an opening to go down the inside if they go wide, as he is taking a more shallow line. We might see them 3 wide into the zone where it's dangerous to go 2 wide, and we don't, but we do see the McLaren and Kick going side by side. Deathwing looking to find any position he can to gain over these two. McLaren leads the pack. And it looks like we won't have any more movement until this next DRS zone. Looking at the ERS, Deathwing is in the best position. He has doubled that of the amount of the two ahead, both on 22% ahead. Kick tucked in behind the McLaren. I think he might be too far back, as well as the Aston. Looking up the hill, Deathwing is fighting some understeers. He is dropping off the back of that Kick. He did spin himself on Charlie and has dropped back. He might be looking at the move down here. He will still get DRS, as there is McLaren ahead as he tucks back into the racing line into the braking zone. He has one done. Next up is Briars and the McLaren. Briars on way less DRS, as the Ferrari of Top G, the provisional race leader to pits, is on the back end of this now. You'll see how hard Deathwing does fight him. As Deathwing goes on the outside of Briars, I have heard that these two have beef. They are keeping it nice and wide and clear of each other as Deathwing goes through. Briars now with the chance to answer. DRS, ERS, slipstream, pulls out down the inside. Ferrari looking at this, as we do see a Ferrari in the back going past a Williams. Again, a change of hands between the Aston and the McLaren. So they go side by side, a lot of contact between them heading into this tight S's. The Kick now looking out to make up a position, and he does, as the McLaren lags a lot. The Ferrari is looking to make up a position as well. McLaren has just lost out on 3 separate positions and a single sector. The Spooky now looking to join in on this fight. Deathwing leading it P4. P1 through 3 having a very Max Verstappen race, just pulling away and having a nice cruise for now until the pits close up again. We're seeing a large DRS train though in the back for P4. That was unfortunate for Briars, as he did seem to have a bit of lag and went off track, and just something weird happened for sure on his end. Charlie, not sure what's going on with him, is off pace behind his teammates. Not quite sure if he picked up damage. It looks like he might be really struggling on those tires, as we did catch him going wide. So we see Top G looking to get through the kick Sauber. Should be an easy said move. We saw Deathwing make the same earlier. Locking the front a lot, the Ferrari, on these fresh hards. We did see him earlier on the move with the McLaren, locking the tire as well. Both these guys out of DRS now. God Gamer picking up a time penalty as he was speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunate for him. He's the first to make a stop. I don't think that will be enough for one stop. He will be doing a two-stop. That kick was in a tough fight with everyone, so definitely burn out his tires. As Spooky gets by Briars, so now Ferrari P4, P6. I was going to say P5, P6, but Top G has gotten through Deathwing down the inside of the second DRS zone. It looks like Top G might have been let through by Deathwing as he gave him a little wiggle on the exit of that turn. Deathwing possibly not fighting these guys as hard as he knows that is not his race. Spooky now the next up on the Aston Martin. He might fight him a bit harder as Spooky does not seem to have as much pace. And iRacing seemed to have left the session. That's not good. My goodness. Well, at least you had a good gap. iRacing now falling down the order of the pack after being disconnected. That is so unfortunate for Red Bull. My goodness. Oh no. iRacing losing out heavily on that. He has still not come back in. Set him one more. That's the best I can do. I gotta commentate. People passing by you. Oof, that is just unfortunate to see. Top G now 4 seconds off of Miko for P2. Max into the pits. Lap 11? I believe for a one-stop you want to pit around 12 to 13. So you might have a lot of confidence in these hards or be going straight for the two-stop, as we do see Deathwing in as well. Miko opting to stay out on these medium tires, will be going for a one-stop, it looks to be. iRacing still on AI mode as he is ghosted still. And there it is. I think he has finally snapped back into the car and is taking control. Max comes out P4 behind both Ferraris by only 3 seconds. That's a very good stint from him, especially if he can stretch those to a one-stop. We'll take a look at the tires. Max on the softs. He is on a two-stop for sure. God on a two-stop as well as he pit for softs a lap earlier than everyone else. Briars opting for the mediums. We'll be doing a second stop, definitely. As we don't see much else pitting. Deathwing did go for the hard tires and is losing out to the soft tires. He was in a tight fight with the kick Sauber earlier and still is. We should see some more people coming in at the end of this lap and the next. That kick, though, unfortunately on a 10-second time penalty after speeding in the pit lane. Currently, McLaren P10, P11. Jeff yet to make a stop, I believe. His teammate on the back of Deathwing and Kick. These guys have been fighting this entire race so far. Charlie, definitely, I think, going for a one-stop, has been struggling on these mediums after he had contact with Deathwing. Deathwing probably having a time penalty coming his way because of that incident. It was just unfortunate that Charlie got wrapped up in it from the front brake lock that Deathwing had. Spooky and his teammate and the DRS and are pulling on Miko, who's still has yet to pit. Miko looking to try and get enough laps done under these mediums to make the one-stop happen. He knows that if he can get it to happen, he might have a chance at a podium over these Ferraris or Max. It will be tough, but it could be possible. iRacing behind after being on AI mode and losing out on about 5 positions. Charlie into the pits, lap 11. He'll have to do 18 laps on those hards if he wants to get it done. Charlie comes out behind the pack that was fighting for P4, it looks to be. Still, DRS train on the back of this kick Sauber. McLaren in the best position to make up position, though he does not have any ERS compared to the ERS of the Aston Martin ahead. And he does perform a decent switchback. He does have the medium tires, which will be a lot easier going as he's fighting a lot of understeer now going through Sector 2. The medium should fire up a lot easier than the hards. Top G and Spooky switching around positions, still on the back of the Ferrari. Max loving it and is now on scene with the Ferraris on the back of Miko. Miko, a DRS train down to P4. Miko might be in this lap and surely will lose out position here and the main straight if he doesn't. As Top G looks to have moved on his teammate, they do swap around nicely as Miko leads them into the final corner. And his teammate, oof, Spooky with a iffy dive bomb, goes into the side of Miko. Miko wanting to make a pit, just can't, and goes into the side of the Ferrari. That is not good from him. That will definitely probably be investigated as Spooky and Max and the top three looking to swap around positions. And Top G just putting himself on scene and hitting the back of the V-Carb ahead. And my goodness, what is going on with this top three? Spooky makes a nifty dive bomb, runs Miko wide. Miko can't get in the pits because he was ran wide, runs into the back of into the side of the Ferrari. And now the Ferrari are scuffling over each other as Max goes through the three of them. And that is even what's going on out back. The Aston Martin of Deathwing on the back of this kick sour. Miko comes out ahead of them P6, but also with a speeding and the pit lane penalty. iRacing currently P4. I believe iRacing might have made a stop. We will check real quick. iRacing has not made a stop, as well as High Flying. They will be going for a one stop and will be going long. Fire is just on the back of this DRS train still. I think the McLarens shouldn't sweat themselves too much during this race, as they might have a bit of work after the race with stewarding. God, now in the kickstopper with DRS from the car ahead, those soft tires might be starting to fail on him, as like I said, they will not last very long throughout this race. They should still have a medium, hard compound that they can run for a two-stop, so the softs aren't necessary. So it will be interesting to see how long he does go on those. Deathwing on the hard tire, defending from the mediums behind. Charlie as a lefty session. I'm not quite sure if that was a disconnect or not. He was having a struggle of a race, so we'll see whether that was intentional or not. High flying into the pits for the first time. iRacing staying out on these medium tires. 13 laps so far. Big kerfuffle going down the main straight. The kick falling back to Deathwing. The Red Bull also failing to Deathwing, as well as the McLaren through the kick Sauber. So we have a big fight for P5 going through turns 1 and 2. As Deathwing on the back of Miko without DRS. Miko still holding out on P5, even though everyone behind had DRS going down that main straight. Miko on that 10-second penalty after the incident trying to get into the pits with the Ferrari. Keeping it clean so far, this P5 to P8 DRS train. Not quite sure what had happened to Charlie. He might have just given up because the race is quite difficult so far for him after he was spun by Deathwing. We might see some big moves happening now. Miko on a lot of ERS, not even worried about deploying as of yet, as we do keep an equal spacing between each other heading down into the next turn. Spooky falling off the back of Top G, his teammate. Both chasing down Max, as Jeff is our second DNF. So far, he DNF'd in pit lane properly. Thank you for that one, Jeff. Jeff having a difficult race as well. We will see, though, with this DRS train, who's able to find a position coming down the main straight. Miko on the most ERS, it seems to be in the back two. Briars and the kick of God Gaming is with the least amount. The kick Sauber seeming to have lost a position to McLaren, might be having those softs finally fail. Miko goes to the inside and forces Deathwing, who won the inside, to go to the outside, both on the hard tire compound. Miko pitting a lap later. Deathwing looking to have the move done coming out of turn 2, but Miko is fighting that back beautifully and has the DRS to do so. That was beautiful stuff from those two. Deathwing stuck in 6th gear. Not quite sure if he's having a mechanical failure with his wheel right now. He hit 6. I'm trying to spot if he does have a failure on his wheel. So that was very odd to see him stuck in 6th gear. We won't find out until the next straightaway. But that brings the McLaren beautifully back onto scene. iRacing did finally make his stop and is currently P8, but will not have to make a stop compared to the other drivers. Deathwing back on the back of Miko after that weird kerfuffle. That might have been the reason why Miko got that position held. He did have a very good exit. He does get into 7th gear here. Could have gone to 8th, but didn't. So it does seem whatever was going on is not repeating itself. Spooky falling off the back of his teammate. Miko 23 seconds off of the podium positions. Podium yet to make another stop. However, as we do see Spooky end of the pits. And we do see the sauce on the kick Sauber looking to start to fail. and we might see another pit stop being made by him. Deathwing on the back of Miko, looking to finally have the job done. About equal ERS from the two of them. McLaren too far back to find himself on, seeing less these two fight too harshly. Miko again choosing the inside, Deathwing to the outside. We'll see how this plays out this time around. Deathwing a little bit far off, might be looking more so at a switchback, but it's just too far off that Red Bull to find any positions. Red Bull does have a 10-second penalty, so that will play out in Deathwing's favor in the end no matter what. Now, as he does hold position, the McLaren still back on scene. It looks like Deathwing struggles onto the entrance of Sector 2, as we see the McLaren continuously getting to the back of him going into it, but then throughout, he gets back to Miko. As iRacing Noob and Spooky seem to be duking it out. iRacing Noob through Spooky, who had just made a stop. I think iRacing has about one lap more on those hard tires. Looking down the order, it is still just a tough fight for provisional P3, as Spooky did make a second stop. Top G yet to make another stop. Spooky was on the mediums to Top G's hard tires. Max as well will have to make another stop. I believe he was on the softs last we checked. Yes, he is on 6-lap-old softs as well as the kick salver. So we will be seeing those two into the pits probably quite soon. Aston Martin falling off the back of the Red Bull a lot more this time. Still on equal ERS, these two. Seeing pretty good ERS management from everyone around the track. iRacing Noob on the back of these Warren softs. Spooky on AI mode might have left the session, as we did see him fall out to iRacing and is currently ghosted, as we do see the kick into the pits. iRacing P6 now after those rounds of pits. He shouldn't have to make another stop. Deathwing still in the back of Miko, and the McLaren falling out of DRS from the cars ahead. And Jeff saying that he DNF'd as his pedals quit working on him. So we did see a mechanical failure DNF through there. Charlie, who's on AI mode, is through the kick salver, the kick having to serve his 10-second penalty. Miko, if he makes another stop, will have to do the same. Deathwing all over the back now of Miko ahead. He will be wanting to get this move done if he wants those hards to last. We can take a look at the tires. I don't think they will. He's on 6-lap-old hards, the youngest being that of Spooky, who is also on AI mode. And high-flying 3-lap-old. Kick just made a stop for hards. Yeah, it's anyone's game, really. There is just too many different strategies going on to call who has the best. McLaren back on scene with the Aston Martin again. Two different tires entirely. So you see Miko lead them into the final corner. Has a very marginal gap over Deathwing of just 0.8, almost outside of DRS. Certainly no moves from them heading into turn 1 as High Flying gets through the ghost of Spooky. Top G unable to find pace over Max. Max just absolutely loving this race so far. He does have to make another stop. Top G probably will also make another stop as well. We can take a look at his tires real quick. Yes, 12 laps on those. I do not see those going another 12 laps. Max still has yet to stop on these 7-lap-old softs. Deathwing struggling on the back of Miko. Miko just feeding these guys understeer and really making them struggle to make those tires last. Miko also 25 seconds off of P2 ahead. Miko might not have to make another stop though, whereas they will. Miko, I believe, on semi-old tires, 5-lap-old. They're younger than Deathwing's. It will be a shock if Deathwing can get them all the way. That will be 19 laps on the hard tires around Bahrain. That will certainly be a problem for him. Still chasing down Miko, as we do see Max into the pits. He has finally decided to ditch these worn tires. I think he might. I think he stays ahead of Miko. I don't think he comes out behind. The McLaren now on the mediums, failing and falling off the 2 cars ahead. As the Red Bull of iRacing is looking to be on scene. Briars into the pits quite early, might I say. As Deathwing still in DRS and Miko ahead. would be a good points finish for Red Bull P3 and P5 if they can see this through. Breyer's only one to pit this lap. Max falls 20 seconds on top G, 5 seconds ahead of Miko. So he did not fall behind Miko, which is very good for his race and his potential win for the inaugural Grand Prix. Deathwing still just hanging out in the DRS of Miko. He's either using him to save his tires or is really frustrated he's losing his tires. There's only one way of putting that, and only that driver knows which it is. Breyers comes out P8 ahead of the kick and behind the Williams. He will definitely want to make some moves back up to at least P6 to Spooky, who is no longer on ghost mode, might I say. Not quite sure what had happened to him then, but he is now the driver behind that car that does not have to make another stop. He will be looking to potentially get back up to iRacing Noob, but that will definitely be a tall task with a 13-second gap. Top G into the pits. This is what Max wanted. Max has a decent undercut. It was a 2-second gap, and will certainly be a good one when all is said and done. So he comes down the straight. I believe it might be around a 5 or so second gap. It might be even more, seeing as how he is just now coming out pit lane. Miko might be potentially able to get into the DRS. I think his tires might have just been too worn. Top G comes out 2.7 behind Miko, and Miko is 3/8 off of Top G. So we see Spooky setting the fastest lap after finally taking the wheel once again. Deathwing now falling out of the DRS of Miko ahead. iRacing looking to catch up to get into that DRS. Deathwing questioning whether he will take these tires all the way. For sure, that will be a tough call from him. Spooky now 12.9 off the back of iRacing. He is closing the gap, and there is quite a few laps left, 10 laps left in this race. He could have it done. Deathwing just looking to find any pace he can and hoping that Miko's tires start to fail. You can definitely see the difference in the tire life of these cars, as Aston Martin is in a Red Bull sandwich of fresh hards compared to his worn hards. Not much action going on as everyone has kind of settled into their positions, as Charlie is also on ghost mode. I think he is the only one left on the ghost mode. Breyer's made a stop and has come out way far off. Deathwing possibly making a stop would probably come out behind the kick Sauber. He might be looking to stay out and just minimize the damage from behind. High flying, finding some good positions. Currently P7 after starting dead, or was it dead last? No, it was the Red Bull's dead last. He didn't have the coolest qualifying time, but is finding himself with some pretty good race so far. Deathwing still just unable to close the gap to Miko. He has the second shot DRS here, but it won't be enough to get any kind of a move done yet. iRacing slowly creeping out on the cars ahead, as well as Spooky. Spooky losing out some pace, might be starting to feel those hard tires. His teammate Top G, P2, Miko P3, but would fall down to P5 with that time penalty. Deathwing also with a potential time penalty would put iRacing Noob in P3. Deathwing having taken out the Williams of Charlie after defending from iRacing Noob. Deathwing in his best position to try and get ahead of Miko. Looks like Miko might be backing him into iRacing Noob as iRacing Noob has closed that gap. Could be a potential team play from Red Bull. Red Bull unable to do this last year to McLaren and Lando Norris. We might see a bit of a better Red Bull team than in real life it seems to be. iRacing Noob now putting the pressure on Deathwing. You can definitely see the wear on Deathwing's front left tire. We've been seeing those front lefts get locked up all race from the drivers. It might also be that Miko is starting to feel it. His tires do not look to have that much degradation on them, but he has been pushing for quite some time to keep Deathwing behind. Top G closing in on the DRS of Max ahead. Max will want to pick up the pace if he wants to secure this win. Deathwing into the pits. He is not confident in taking those tires for 8 more laps. It is now a Red Bull P3, P4 as Miko lets his teammate through, as he does have a time penalty and iRacing does seem to have a bit more pace than him tonight. That's a very good team call from Red Bull to do so and just pull away as much as they can, as Miko does have that 10-second time penalty. He will want to stay in the DRS of iRacing to keep that gap to Spooky under 10 seconds. Currently 11.9. Actually, he wants to keep it over 10 seconds. My bad. But he might be able to have it done, as Deathwing does come out behind the McLaren just hardly. I did say he probably would, as the Ferrari has finally closed the gap to the V-Carb ahead. A big brake lock from him doing so. He has pit for the mediums, which is quite an interesting call. Pull up the tires. Yeah, he's on 2-lap-old mediums to the car ahead's 3-lap-old hards. I believe those mediums will make it to the end, but 10 laps on the mediums is a lot worse than 11 laps on hards. So he might be in the challenge for right now, but that will definitely fall off, as Miko is currently out of DRS at the car ahead. And he has pulled back in. iRacing possibly letting off to get him back into the DRS to pull away. Deathwing looking to have a provisional place over Briars. Like I said, he did have that iffy move with Charlie, so there might be a 5-second time penalty coming his way post-race. So he will want to get this move done and start pulling away from the McLaren. These guys having a fight all race long and are looking to keep it going to the final lap. Max losing out the position to the Ferrari already. I did not expect that to happen so early, so I did pull away from that, but he has lost the position as Deathwing on the back of the McLaren heading into the final corner. McLaren on older mediums. I did not see them, but Deathwing does have the tire advantage over that McLaren. Max possibly wanting to just hang on to the back of the Ferrari until those Ferrari tires start to fall off the car. Deathwing looking to just pull away now. So they head down into the little middle straight with DRS. That V-Carb is all over the back of the Ferrari. Heading into the next corner, he might actually have a chance at a move. He sends a little bit of a flinch, or that could have been lag. I will go with that was a flinch down the inside to see if the Ferrari would do anything. Red Bull still holding out that gap over Spooky, 11.2 seconds with 7 laps to go. Max tight on the back of the Ferrari still, and as they do look to lap the AI of Charlie Ed. A lot of ERS to both of these guys. The Ferrari wins out in the ERS game though, and has more. They will not be deploying all here, however. Charlie into the pits under AI. As yeah, that V-Carb just does not have the wings it looks to pull away, as Miko and iRacing Noob have exchanged the order that they are in, interestingly enough. Not quite sure if that's a fight for a position or what. And iRacing Noob actually, I think iRacing Noob might be falling off the back of Miko to challenge Ferrari behind and defend to force him behind. Not quite sure why iRacing Noob has led his teammate through and is staying behind. We did audibly hear him back off the throttle there as Briars gets through High Flying. High Flying was P6, now P8 after falling out to the Aston of Deathwing and the McLaren of Briars. Yeah, iRacing Noob holding out behind his teammate. Not really sure the call here, as Spooky now within 9 seconds of them. That is critical to Miko's race to stay ahead of Spooky. I think it definitely would have been worthwhile for iRacing to keep ahead. High Flying wanted to keep into the DRS of Briars to hold out and try and fight for that last position ahead of the Kick Sauber behind. Kick Sauber was fighting for good position until he had to pit with that 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, falling him back to P9. Seems to have just been struggling on these tires currently, as Top G does set the fastest time on the medium tires. Max behind 1.5 will be praying for those mediums to fall off at some point, as there's a big lock from that Ferrari. We have been seeing this Ferrari lock his fronts the entire race, new or old tires, which is a very, very interesting to see. iRacing Noob looking to take his teammate. No, not quite sure what these Red Bull strategy is, but it is certainly an interesting one. Spooky 8.5 behind. Briars 2 seconds off of Deathwing. Deathwing looking to open that gap as much as possible. Yeah, not quite sure what these Red Bulls are doing, but it is certainly an interesting call from them. 5 laps to go. I don't think that Spooky will catch up to the back of this, or that Miko will be able to pull away enough to stay ahead of Spooky with this time penalty. Max 2 seconds off of top G. Spooky, after being AI mode for a while, currently P5, good pick me up from him after having so many laps done under AI mode and falling so far behind. Looks like drivers are really settling into position now. Briars hanging on to the pace of Deathwing ahead. Deathwing on the back of a lapped car of Charlie. Briars certainly looking to stay within a good time of him if he wants to pick up an extra position. Yeah, these Red Bulls playing a very, very interesting team game. I'm not quite sure why. It could be that iRacing is really struggling on these tires, and iRacing was needing the assist to get the tires to go all the way. Spooky now 6 seconds off the back of them as they do switch again around once more. So we see the Ferrari dive way off towards the wall again. This is the second time we have seen Spooky doing that. Miko now the following Red Bull behind. Yeah, Spooky doing some weird driving. Not quite sure if it's just lag that we're seeing from him or what it is. But he is wanting to stay within 10 seconds of Miko and should have that done in the books. Max wanting to find some more pace after these mediums fall off. 2.2 seconds is the gap that he will have to chase down. That should be around now when the hards should start playing more into his favor. So we do see that gap starting to come down. We will keep an eye on that. Briars and the McLaren falling off of the Aston Martin. Aston Martin 3 seconds ahead of Briars. Miko hanging on to the DRS of his teammate ahead. It looks like they are playing the DRS tug-of-war game again, and they are now pulling away from Spooky, which is what they should have been doing the entire time, if you ask me, for the best chance at Miko for P4. Deathwing closing the gap to Spooky in the Ferrari as well. I believe Deathwing on the fresher tires to him. Max 2.5 off of the Ferrari is losing out pace on the straightaways for sure. Top G running some insanely low wings by the looks of it. So it looks like we might have a pretty good finishing order set now as the Red Bulls are dancing around one another. Looking down the order, it would be Max up 1 position behind Top G, winning the race after taking pole position. iRacing Noob up 9 positions after starting dead last, and being on AI mode for part of the race, might I say. Miko would be up 6 positions after losing out to a time penalty to Spooky, who would be P5, and would finish where he started. Deathwing, if he can open the gap enough to Briars, who I think will have a penalty coming to Deathwing, will remain P6. Briars would be P7, high flying P8 with only 1 position gain, but still good from the Williams. Kick Sauber losing out of position to the Williams, and Charlie would be down 5 after going to AI mode. Jeff and Banani are 2 DNFs of the night. Looking down the grid, we are seeing wide gaps forming now. Miko still hanging on to the back of his teammate to try and pull away as much as he can with 3 laps to go. They're racing 19 seconds off of P2. P2 looking to jaunt down Top G for the win, but I don't think he's going to do it. There's just too much of a gap, and those mediums aren't falling off quick enough. Red Bull looking to secure good points. Ferrari looking to secure good points. Williams will still have double points. McLaren, the only team that will have 2 drivers in the race to not finish with double points. Deathwing now 3.7 ahead of the McLaren behind. As iRacing Noob has gone off by the looks of things. Not quite sure what happened to him there, but Spooky is now on scene. 2 seconds the gap. This might be what I was talking about earlier with iRacing Noob defending from Spooky to try and open the gap to Miko. The gap 4.1. You'll want that to be 10 seconds if he wants Miko to hold out to a podium position. This will be a bit of a dirty team play game, but if you can keep it clean, I think that there shouldn't be a problem with it. Spooky now 1.8 off the back of iRacing. It might just be that iRacing had a moment because he's not backing into Spooky or backing off of his pace. So it looks to be that he just had a moment and went off or spun. This would still put Miko down to P5. Deathwing and Briars holding a 3.5-ish second gap to one another. Top G and a comfortable lead of 2.5 seconds to the car behind with 2 laps to go. Max just hoping that there's a mistake coming from that Ferrari ahead. iRacing Noob, yes, is picking up the pace and is catching his teammate. Spooky is catching behind, but with 2 laps to go, I do not see a threat from him. And other than that, I believe that should be the race done in unless we see another incident or mistake from the drivers. iRacing catching back up to his teammate quite rapidly now. Miko is on the older tires compared to his teammate. Let's take a look at the stops to see who did do a one-stop and who did not. High Flying is on a one-stop. That is quite a mighty task from someone that wasn't showing good one-stop pace. iRacing and his teammate Miko and the Red Bull is the only other people to do the one-stop. The rest on the two-stop. It looks to be that the one-stop was the move to do, as all 3 drivers that used the one-stop made up positions. So very, very good tire management from all of them. Take a look actually at the tires, see who will be doing the longest stint. It will be Miko with the longest stint done on the hard tires with 16 laps. That is quite a tall task as Top G comes around the final corner to start the last lap of the first ULC race. Spooky and the DRS of iRacing Noob notably. Max will be a bit unfortunately sad at his loss at a victory here in Bahrain. Max still out behind the Ferrari, 3 seconds now the gap. He is definitely fighting somewhere in those tires. Spooky on the back of iRacing. This is not a move to back up Spooky. This is just Spooky showing himself as a threat to the Red Bulls. As he does make a lunge down the inside, just barely misses out on that Red Bull's rear tire and nearly clipped him. That would have been unfortunate for the Ferrari, but he's going to have a second chance now. iRacing on the outside is pinching that Ferrari after that weird move in turn 1. They both jet over for the braking zone. The Ferrari is now ahead of the Red Bull. Red Bull looking at a P3, P5, now looking at a P4, P5, with the Ferrari having a potential double podium. iRacing will want to get this move done as quickly as possible, as God Gamer picks up the only track limits warning of the day. I believe I accidentally had it set to regular track limits and not strict. That will change for the next race. I think iRacing just does not have the tire advantage over Spooky, as Spooky was on AI mode for quite a few laps, probably had a good amount of tires saved up. I don't think that he will be able to fight as Top G crosses the line to win the first ULC race, followed by Max with a valiant P2 that is 24 seconds over the on the track P3, with iRacing falling off of the Ferrari ahead. I do not think that there's a chance for him to take back that podium position. Deathwing finishing only 3 seconds out of Briars. That might be crucial for his race and keeping a position. As the Red Bull, the Ferrari, and the other Red Bull cross the line, Miko actually picks up an additional 10 seconds after not serving his 10 seconds. Looks like someone forgot to tell him about that little oopsie, which might drop him behind Deathwing. It doesn't. That is very thankful for him that he did that. Oof, that was close for Miko, losing out another position over him. As we see High Flying cross the line, the only other driver to do a one-stop other than the Red Bulls crosses the line. And God Gamer and the Kick Sauber will look to cross it eventually, as well as Charlie, who has been lapped a few times. Unfortunately for him, that it is AI mode and will wait to finish until the Kick Sauber does. And he is just about to cross the line. And he does very slowly, giving us a nice break at the end. Congrats to our very first race winner and pole position sitter in the Ferrari Top G. Very nice race out front, very nice race in the midfield. Unfortunate for that one major contact, And for the incident with Miko and the Ferraris, those will definitely be investigated, and will be interesting to see where that puts everyone. Driver of the day goes to iRace Noob, last to fourth with him. Ferrari double podium, and most overtakes goes to Miko. Here's your finishing order. Like I said, Ferrari double podium with a V-carb in the middle of it. Fastest lap also went to Top G. Spooky Duck finishing P3 after starting P4 with AI mode in the middle of that race. iRacing Noob last to P4. Valiant effort from him. Miko with some weird stuff going on. Held out for a P5 starting P11. Deathwing might have a penalty coming his way. Finishes P6. Very good battle with him and the McLaren that finished P7. And the Williams of High Flying P8. Kick Sauber 9th after picking up some time penalties as well. As this has been our first inaugural Grand Prix. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in.